Daddy's about to film a video. We're gonna film a video. We're gonna do a movie review. That sound fun? Want to do a movie review with me? Mwah. I don't ever want to hear somebody tell me that modern day movies are not nearly as good as things that we grew up with. Because most of the films that I've seen over the past year or so, that's from the beginning of 2025 all the way to now, have been absolutely phenomenal. In fact, I would say that movies nowadays are almost sometimes better than stuff that we grew up with. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that They Will Kill You is the greatest movie I've seen in the past year. Bubba, you can't lick the mic, okay? Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that They Will Kill You is the best film that I've seen all year. I think that honor still goes to Frankenstein, but I will say that it's a movie you have to see. They Will Kill You is extremely reminiscent of blaxploitation slaughterhouse films of the 80s. If you're either way too young or you're my age, but you didn't grow up with a father who was obsessed with action and horror movies and didn't shove every single one of these films down your throat when you were growing up, slaughterhouse films were a very one-man army style of horror. Think of the Doom franchise, right? Doom guy against all of the legions of hell. That's basically what these movies were. It was one person, oftentimes trapped in an old mansion or on an island or something like that, and having to slaughter legions and legions of things trying to kill them. There's a lot of gunshots, a lot of sword fighting, a lot of action, and it's amazing. The blaxploitation films were these action films centered around a black star. Very oftentimes they were cop movies where this one black star was beating the shit out of legions of villains, and whether or not blaxploitation was good for the black community is something that's been in heavy debate in social circles, but I think most people did love them. Another inspiration that this film has is very obviously Tarantino films, very specifically Kill Bill. I immediately recognized it. The synopsis of the film is usually hard for me to explain whenever I'm doing these reviews because I don't want to spoil anything for you, but thankfully, pretty much the entire plot shows up in the first 10 minutes. You do not have to wait long for this movie to tell you what it's going to be, and that's typical of this genre. Asia Reeves goes to this, they just call it a building. It's like a renovated hotel where people now live in to try and find her sister, who was a maid who went missing recently. The first night that she spends in there, some people break into her room to try to kidnap her. And Asia goes absolutely apeshit. She shoots them with shotguns, she stabs them, she cuts one dude's head off, and then she walks out into the hallway to come across the housekeeper. The housekeeper in this scenario is the person who is the boss of all the maids. And when she comes across the housekeeper, she tries to get answers, but then the housekeeper reveals that the people she just killed aren't actually dead. All 5 of them walk out of the room that she left them in, and the guy with the severed head puts his head reattaches at the neck in a very Deadpool style healing factor type of deal. And from that moment forward, the entire movie is just non-stop action. Asia is constantly re-killing these people over and over and over again, and it is some of the most high-octane action I have seen in a while. My adrenaline is literally still pumping, and it's a 15-minute drive from the movie theater back to my house, and I also had to change my shirt because it was a bit messy, and then Baxter wanted cuddles, so I had to... okay. All right. What are we doing? We're climbing on my desk. Okay, awesome. So anyway, the point is that this film is so fun and action-packed. Now, I'm not going to tell you how it ends. It should be pretty obvious how it ends. It's a slaughterhouse film. But I will tell you that the movie doesn't disappoint. It's fun. Just pure, dumb fun. And it's something that I haven't seen in the horror genre in a while. What I really love about this film is that even though it is clearly paying homage to blaxploitation and slaughterhouse films of old, it has enough modern storytelling elements elements to keep it up to date in the modern age. It's not a direct ripoff of the genre, but it was very obviously made by people who love the genre. And I think that that is one of the biggest things that is missing from a lot of homages to genre. And I also think that that's something that a lot of people feel is missing from film in general. A lot of movies feel like they're made for the sake of making money, but this movie was very obviously made for the love of the art form, which has been a lot of the movies that I've seen over the past year. I think that They Will Kill You is a movie that deserves your watch, especially if you love action and you love horror. Are you going to get that creepy feeling tingling down your spine that most horror gives? No. Are you going to get some big mystery that you have to figure out? No, but that's not the point of this movie. The point of this movie is to watch the main actress kick some fucking ass, and it is legitimately her kicking some fucking ass. The final fight scene in the end is so monumentally over the top, and I love it. It makes me so giddy to see these kind of films again, because we've missed this. 80s action in general had this really campy, like, trying to be cool feel that just made them fun to watch. That's why we loved 80s action. That's why we loved Stallone and Schwarzenegger and Statham and all of these action stars in these old movies, because of course the acting wasn't up to par. Of course the writing wasn't deep and complex, but we didn't care about that because it was fun. Do you guys remember that? Fun? Remember when every story didn't have to be some fucking complex Inception style puzzle where you have to guess what the damn story is? Remember when we could just sit down and watch somebody kick a bunch of ass and we liked that? That's what this film is. Go see it. Hey, thank you guys for watching, man. I know this is a really short video. Maybe people will watch it, maybe they won't, but I just had to gush about this film. I got home and I had to talk about it. I had to gush about it because it's so fun and so interesting, and I loved it, and you need to go see it. And as always, a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today, get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, or if you just want to support me by tossing me a couple extra dollars a month, then go ahead and click that join button down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.